Hello, welcome to another episode of TOYA Talks Wrestling. In today's episode, we're going to be going over the John Cena retirement tour and my thoughts and opinions on it. This is probably going to be a very long video, so I'm warning you now. Go ahead and get your popcorn, get your favorite snack, your favorite drink. Go ahead and get warm up by the fire, cuddle up because this is going to be a very long video. I'm going to try not to make it so long, but no promises. So to remind you that John Cena made his announcement that he was going to retire on Money in the Bank last year in 2024, and I believe it was Toronto, Canada. And basically he told people that, yep, 2025, that's going to be his last run, his last Rumble, his last Elimination Chamber, his last WrestleMania, his last this, last that, whatever like that. And for me, it was kind of like, okay, a nostalgic, sad moment, because I'm like, dude, I grew up watching John Cena, and now it's like an end of a childhood era, even though I wasn't even a child back then. But yeah, it was strange to me, and I was already thinking about like his opponents and what I would like to see and everything else. But let's go ahead and talk about these dates, shall we? January 6th, 2025, Raw debuts on Netflix. So John Cena does a promo on Raw, which was the first Raw on Netflix. It's kind of like amazing. Like Netflix debuted on this year. It is kind of on Netflix, and now it just feels like it's just been there for like years. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's a thing. But anyways, like John Cena does his promo, and he basically talks about how kind of reiterated what he had said last year, talking about this how he's going to enter the Rumble and everything else, and he's going to win the Rumble, and he's going to go on and hopefully get number 17 and all this other stuff. And it was pretty simple. It wasn't really nothing too major or anything like that. It wasn't wrestling or anything like that. Had this promo, and that was pretty much it. February 1st, 2025. John Cena enters the Royal Rumble at number 23. So this is a time where we see John Cena wrestle in an actual match. I think the last time we seen him do some stuff was last year at WrestleMania, when he attacked Solo and he attacked Roman Reigns, and then he got rock bottom by The Rock, but nothing too like kind of like wrestling wise and everything else like that. You can tell that he had a little bit of wrestling rust, ring rust as they call it, and everything else like that, but he did pretty well, and he ended up being one of the last two people in the Royal Rumble. It was between him and Jey Uso, and I can tell you right now, Jey Uso won, and Jey Uso was not really the person that I even thought who would even win the Royal Rumble. That was a surprise. I was happy for Jey Uso, but I think I had like Punk or like Seth or something like that, one of the major ones. But it was a great match, and I enjoyed it. Later on that same show, during the post show actually, when they used to do the press conferences, when they don't do them no more, they used to do the press conferences. John Cena had claimed that he was going to be in the Elimination Chamber, which may I remind you that when you go into Elimination Chamber, there's usually a qualifying match. It's like either triple threat or fatal 4-way or maybe a 1-on-1, but you don't just say, hey, I'm going into Elimination Chamber and then get in. But since he's John Cena, it's his last run, I guess, it's like just let him in. And plus, he was the second to last person to get eliminated, so he went all the way towards the end before he got yeeted by the Yeet Man himself. So, but yeah, that was good. It was good. March 1st, 2025, Elimination Chamber. John Cena wins and turns and attacks Cody Rhodes. So in this one, this was a match. This was better. This was a better match. I guess he got that feel of the first match, So this was a better match. Let me remind you who was in this Elimination Chamber match besides John Cena. So it was John Cena, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Logan Paul, Damian Priest, and Drew McIntyre. Let me also remind you that Seth Rollins and CM Punk had a feud against each other, and for some reason so did Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre. I still don't know why, but I still don't know why, and it just happened. I don't know why, but anyways, this was a good match. This was a better match, and John Cena shined on this one very well. It ended up being the last two being CM Punk and John Cena, and of course, you know, that famous Money in the Bank match between those two, and it's like, oh my goodness gracious, can't wait to see this, right? John Cena ends up winning the match because Seth Rollins curb stomps CM Punk, and then of course John Cena took advantage, and there you go, he wins the match. I'm not exactly sure if he tapped out CM Punk or he pinned him. I can't remember, but I can't remember, but it's probably one. But you know, anyway, John Cena won, right? So then Cody Rhodes comes out and gives him, you know, a hug and everything else. Now, before I continue on with this, with what happened at Elimination Chamber, let me go back 2 weeks prior to the Elimination Chamber. We had Cody Rhodes and The Rock on the SmackDown 2 weeks prior before Elimination Chamber, talking about how Rock was telling Cody Rhodes how he wanted him to be his champion, and he wanted his soul, and he wanted him to bend over and spread the cheeks. That's not what he said. That last part is a lie, but the way The Rock was, look, the way The Rock was talking to Cody Rhodes, it was weird, it was strange, it was like, what the hell is he talking about? But also intriguing. I'm like, okay, where is this going, right? So then the Friday before Elimination Chamber, The Rock is pretty much giving like Cody Rhodes all these gifts and food and like sushi and everything else like that, and it's like, you know, like, just spread the cheeks. I mean, give me your soul, Cody. It's pretty much like that. Anyways, let's go back to the chamber. So like I said before, Cody Rhodes comes out and he gives John Cena a hug, and they're like, you know, they're talking and everything. John Cena's pointing to the WrestleMania sign, saying like, you and me, it's gonna be awesome, and everything else like that. And I'm like, this is gonna be cool, right? Like, you know, two of like the biggest baby faces in the company going out at each other. This is gonna be great, right? This is gonna be like, maybe this will be like passing the torch. Maybe John Cena doesn't win. I'm like, I don't know, right? So then you have The Rock come out with some skinny black guy, and my first thought was, who is that? Who's that guy? And then I guess Michael Cole's like, oh my god, and The Rock's here, and he's with Travis Scott. And again, I'm like, who is that guy? Who the fuck is Travis Scott? Like, I didn't even know who. I'm like, why? I'm like, is that like The Rock's fucking nephew or something? Like, what's going on? Like, what's happening? And they're like, oh, he's the guy that does the theme song for, I guess, Raw or whatever. And I'm like, okay, whatever. They come out, and Cody Rhodes, yeah, and then The Rock says, you know what, I want your answer, Cody Rhodes. I want your soul. I want your cheeks. I mean, I want you to be my champion. And Cody Rhodes is like, basically Cody Rhodes says no and told The Rock to go fuck himself. And yes, he actually used the words "go fuck yourself." You don't believe me? Go back and watch it. John Cena's like jumping up and down, like, yeah, and he's all happy and everything else like that. And then he comes and he gives Cody a hug and everything else. And then John Cena goes and looks over at The Rock, and he has like this mean face on his face, a mean look on his face. And The Rock slices his throat. And then that's when Cody Rhodes gets kicked in the dick by John Cena, and John Cena pretty much just annihilates fucking Cody Rhodes, and then Travis Scott comes over and hits him in the ear and busts his eardrum, giving him a black eye, and it's like, oh my god, I hate Travis Scott. Anyways, that was the heel turn for John Cena. It was surprising, it was shocking, it was not what we had expected. no idea like that. Let me just tell you, like, when I was watching Elimination Chamber and Cody Rhodes was waiting on The Rock, I was wondering, like, why is John Cena still in the ring, right? Because it's gonna be, I thought this was just gonna be a Rock versus Cody moment, and then like maybe like The Rock brings out somebody else and comes beat him up or something like that. And then I was thinking, like, well, maybe the John Cena's there to like help Cody, because he did help Cody last year at WrestleMania against The Rock and everything else like that. So I was like, so a heel turn was definitely not what I was expecting. I was not expecting that. And there is like, after the beatdown, there was like an image where The Rock and John Cena are like on the ramp, and there's like this epic cool ass picture and everything else, and you see, and it's like, man, these two going together, it just fucking makes sense. You know, they're both great wrestlers, they're both great promos, they're both in fucking Hollywood, you know. I'm just like, it just makes sense, right? And I'm like, God, it just worked, right? I don't know about Travis Scott, who cares to check out him, but it just worked. So I was really like just intrigued by what was happening. And later on, so I was excited. I was like, let's see what's gonna happen. Like, what's the new music gonna be like? I'm already thinking in my head, like, what's the music gonna be like? What's he gonna wear? What's he gonna do and everything else like that? We shall see. March 17th, 2025, Raw. So I believe this Raw was in Brussels. I believe this was, they were doing their European tour, and he comes out. John Cena comes out with his regular gear, but it was dark colors and everything else like that. And Russell, I think that's when John Cena Sucks song came out and everything like that. John Cena Sucks, that song, I believe that was the day that came out and everything else like that. And John Cena talked about, his promo was okay. It was an okay promo. He basically blamed the fans for why he was doing what he did, and no mention of The Rock, no mention of him like selling his soul to The Rock or anything like that, and why he did what he did. It was basically, it wasn't, like I said, it was an okay promo talking about he's going to ruin wrestling and all this other stuff. March 24, 2025, Raw. Now this is where he had a promo with Cody Rhodes, and you know, Cody Rhodes, I think Cody Rhodes pretty much won this promo in this situation, because John Cena didn't really say much and everything else. Like I said, these promos were okay. When his heel turn happened, these were okay promos. They weren't like fire, they weren't like, oh my god, he got him, stuff like that. They were okay. There was nothing there and everything else like that. I think Cody was trying to fight him, and I think John Cena just left. So it wasn't that really big of a deal. Like I say, it was just the setup for WrestleMania and all this other stuff. And Cody Rhodes basically wanted the old John Cena back. March 31st, 2025, the hype to WrestleMania. So this was the last Raw to WrestleMania, and it was basically hyped up and everything else like that. I can't remember, did they go at it each other? I can't remember. I don't remember, because I don't remember the freaking promo, and I don't remember what happened. I know that Cody Rhodes and they went out at each other and everything else like that, but I couldn't tell you what happened. I really couldn't tell you what happened, so we'll just move on. April 18th, 2025, SmackDown. So this was the final SmackDown before WrestleMania. I said the other day was the final Raw. I apologize. I'm confusing myself. But anyways, that was the final time that John Cena was appearing on Raw. I should say, I've said. But this was the final before WrestleMania on SmackDown. So they had another segment where John Cena pretty much gets attacked by Cody Rhodes, because John Cena tries to attack Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes attacks John Cena. It was the Crossroads, and that was pretty much it. Cody Rhodes stands tall with his championship in hand, And that was all she wrote on SmackDown. April 20th, 2025, WrestleMania 41, Night 2. So it was WrestleMania. Cody Rhodes and John Cena had their match. And I was interested to see what John Cena is going to wrestle like as a heel. Because he's a heel now, right? Because he wrestles differently, obviously, and stuff like that. It wasn't really that good. It wasn't that good. It was not good at all. It was terrible. People say, well, he's doing that on purpose. I'm like, is he? I'm like, I don't know. But okay, it's not hitting. I'm like, even if he is trying to ruin wrestling, don't wrestle like you just don't want to be there. Like, even like you're a heel. Wrestle like a heel. Don't wrestle like you don't want to be there. There is like huge difference. And I think the one thing that was just disappointing, well, there was a lot of things that were disappointing, but one of the things was like The Rock wasn't even there. They sent in Travis Scott. Travis Scott is taking like forever to go down the fucking ramp. Like he's taking like 5 fucking minutes. Like he's fucking like he's like posing on top of the stage like he's fucking the second coming of Jesus Christ or something. Like give me a break. Nobody wants to see you, Travis Scott. No one gives a shit about you, Travis Scott. Go the hell away, Travis Scott. And John Cena ends up winning number 17 with the help of Travis Scott and kicking Cody in the nuts and hitting him with the title belt and AA, and now it's it. And that's how he wins 17 to break this pretend championship run that Ric Flair had. Anyways, wasn't good at all. I didn't like it. I still don't like it, and I want to erase it from my memory forever. Ever. Terrible. April 21st, 2025, Raw. So, John Cena comes out, and I believe this is where we get the whole, like, never seen 17, because he gives the announcers this paper, and he's like, here, this is my new freaking intro, now I'll say that. Never seen 17, blah 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 blah, and everything else like that. On this same Raw, he has been confronted by Randy Orton. Basically, Randy Orton is talking, and he's like, Randy Orton telling him, hey man, you should just get some kids and all this other stuff. And John Cena, in a PG way, just said, F the kids. Fuck the kids. I don't give a shit about the fucking kids. The kids are the reason why I'm doing this. The kids are ruining my life and everything else like that. It was a good promo from back and forth. I really enjoyed it and everything. I really enjoyed it. It was a great promo. I think they did a good job. It was nothing, it was nothing too spectacular, like I said, but it was a good promo for what it was. April 25th, 2025, SmackDown. So, there was another promo, another segment with Randy Orton. I don't remember if this one he RKO'd him or not. I don't think he might have RKO'd a couple of times. I have no idea. But it was another segment with Randy Orton. Randy trying to make some sense of what's going on with John and everything else like that. I believe that's what happened on this day. I'm not 100% sure. May 9th, 2025. The build to Backlash. So, Randy Orton and John Cena are going to have a match at Backlash. And for the title, I believe it was for it. I think this is the time that John Cena gets RKO'd by Randy Orton. And they build this thing and everything up like that. It wasn't, like I said, most of these promos weren't like, they were okay. They were alright. They were alright for the moment. But like, when you go back there, it's not that great. It's not that important. It's not even that memorable because I don't even fucking remember. May 10th, 2025, Backlash. John Cena beats Randy Orton. So we had the match. It was a better match than they had with Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania, I'll tell you that much. That was a really low bar, but still, it pretty much ended up, and we already talked about this before, but I'll go ahead and reiterate it. John Cena ends up winning. I can't remember if I know the ref ends up getting knocked out because, of course, the ref ends up not getting knocked out and everything else. And I don't remember if there was any other people who's being involved, but I know that R-Truth comes in because R-Truth pretty much was still thinking that John Cena is like a good guy. He's just lost and, and everything else, and he just needs help. He's trying to stop Randy Orton, like begging him and everything else up, and Randy Orton ends up RKO'd R-Truth, and John Cena kicks Randy in the dick. Title, AA, pins, that's it. And that's pretty much how he won the freaking match and all this other stuff. And I don't think we've seen Randy Orton again till like SummerSlam. But I think that was the last we saw Randy Orton until SummerSlam, I believe. But like later on, again, when they used to have the press conferences after the show, John Cena was talking and he was doing an interview. And R-Truth comes in, he's like, "Are you okay?" and everything else like that. And pretty much he said something to John Cena where John Cena got mad, and he AA'd him through the announce table, or the table where he was doing the interview at, and that was it. And I was just thinking to myself, wow, why would he do that? Like, I would have totally used Truth as like a pawn in my my thing, you know what I'm saying? Like, just use him and all the other stuff. So it's like, instead of like kicking people in the dick all the time, just use Raw Truth as a distraction or something like that, whatever like that. But they didn't do that route. Anyways, I was like, what a waste of opportunity that was. May 24th, 2025, Saturday night's main event. John Cena beats R-Truth. So we had a match with John Cena versus R-Truth, where R-Truth comes out as Ron Cena, and he's wearing John Cena's gear. He even had the music and everything else on with bright colors, and he was running down the ring and everything. It was great. It was funny and all this other stuff. It was a really short match. He gets kicked in the dick. He loses to John Cena, and that was pretty much it. Then afterwards, Ron Killings, R-Truth ends up being let go by WWE because his contract wasn't up yet. And of course, the WWE Universe pretty much tried to get his job back, and it was like, why did you just fire him when you just put him in a match with John Cena at Saturday Night's main event? It didn't make any sense at all. It was really weird. It was just so strange. Didn't understand it. But this was a match. It wasn't good. It wasn't bad. It was just a match. I'm just gonna put it like that. May 30th, 2025, SmackDown, a segment with Logan Paul. So I can't remember or not if Cody Rhodes came back this day or whatever, but I remember that John Cena and Logan Paul pretty much were teaming up, and John Cena was basically saying that, Logan Paul, because I believe there was a match between Logan Paul and Jey Uso at Saturday Night's main event, that one that was coming up for the championship and all this other stuff, or maybe that already happened. I don't freaking remember, but I remember John Cena's like, it would be great if Logan Paul was champion, and we, and everything else, because Jey Uso don't deserve to be champion, all this other stuff like that. And I don't know if that's when Cody Rhodes comes back or not. I'm not 100% sure. So don't ask me. I don't remember. It's a fog memory, guys. It's a fog memory. June 6th, 2025, SmackDown. A last push for Money in the Bank. So they had so it was Logan Paul and John Cena and Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso, and they both were talking to each other, and they're having like these promo, because I think Money in the Bank was the next night, and they're just pushing their match and all this other stuff like that. I believe Jay and Cody Rhodes got the best of John and Logan Paul. Like I said, wasn't that really big of a promo. It was just okay. It was just a push. It was just a push to hype up Money in the Bank, I guess. June 7th, 2025. John Cena and Logan Paul lose to Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso. R-Truth makes his return. So I want to say that this match was okay. The star of this match was clearly Logan Paul. Logan Paul was just out there doing the stuff, the high flying and everything else. He was pretty much, I hate to say it, pretty much saved the match and made it from good to great. It was a great match and everything else like that. R-Truth comes back because, you know, as always, the ref gets knocked out. And, you know, it's time to take advantage. You see the guy in all black hoodie, pants, mask, whatever. He attacks John Cena, reveals themselves as R-Truth or Ron Killings, whatever one you want to choose. And Cody Rhodes ends up giving John Cena the Crossroads, the Uso splash, and then they pin him 1, 2, 3, and they win the match. Like I said, it was an okay match. The only reason why it was saved was by Logan Paul, but it was alright. It was a thing, and it would set up things later on between John and Cody Rhodes. June 9th, 2025, Raw. So this is where John Cena is confronted by CM Punk. And they're going to get their feud going on and everything else like that. And this was a great promo between the two of them. I mean, these are both guys that are very good on the mic, and I really enjoyed it. Don't ask me what they said. I don't remember word for word, but you know, it was a great promo, and I enjoyed it. That's all we need to know. June 13th, 2025, SmackDown. He cuts a promo on SmackDown. That was pretty much it. That was it. Though I think he might have been confronted by R-Truth. I'm not even sure. I know R-Truth wanted a match, but I think that's it. I think he just did his promo. And that was pretty much it. June 20th, 2025, SmackDown. He fights R-Truth. Wins by DQ. I believe they had this match. This is where like R-Truth becomes Ron Killings, or I think he's still R-Truth and he has a split personality of Ron Killings. I have no idea. Just had this match. I don't even remember. I remember disqualification happened. I don't even know what's disqualification for John or Truth. I'm not even sure. I think it might have been for John. I don't know what happened, but I know there was a DQ, and that's all I remember. This match should not have even been happening. This was a waste of everybody's time, to be honest with you, and everything else like that. And it didn't need to be done. It just didn't need to be done. June 27th, 2025, the build to Night of Champions. So they had a build between CM Punk and John Cena. I think earlier in the weeks when John Cena and CM Punk first announced, were first talking and everything on that Raw, I believe John Cena said that if CM Punk wanted the title, he had to go to Saudi Arabia to get the title. And apparently Punk back in the day talked shit about the Saudi Arabia, some shit like that. I don't know what he said exactly, but said that he would never go there and that's something like that. But I think all is well, all is good. He ends up going there anyway. But and on this SmackDown, CM Punk comes out as like John Cena, or he comes out as CM Punk, you know, and he's like wearing like John Cena's old Thugonomics and gear and everything else, and he just doing like this really bad like rap. I'm like, oh, but it was funny, but it was terrible. It was like, oh my god, CM Punk, don't ever do this again, please. I'm like, it's funny, but I'm just like, just no more. No, just let this be the last time. Don't ever do this again. But they had their build and everything else like that. It was great. And I enjoyed it. I think this was also in Saudi Arabia. It had to be, because it was SmackDown, and the Night of Champions was the next night. But anyways, yeah. But it was great. I really enjoyed it. June 28th, 2025, Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia. John Cena defeats CM Punk. So this match was good. It was a lot of chaotic stuff because, again, ref gets knocked out. At this time, Seth Rollins had just won Money in the Bank, and he wanted to make sure that, one, CM Punk don't win a championship, and two, you know, he is Money in the Bank holder, so he's obviously going to be there. If he can cash in on John Cena, why not? You know what I mean? So he goes out there, and it's pretty much just chaos and all this other stuff like that. Where it ended up where CM Punk ends up, you know, script stopping Punk, and John Cena ends up taking advantage, kind of like what did in the Elimination Chamber. John Cena did try to kick CM Punk in the dick at one point, but CM Punk, you know, was wise to it now. He's like, I've seen you done it to like three opponents already. Like, I know what you're gonna do. But ends up stomped and AA'd and winning and getting pinned by John Cena. It was a good match, but man, it was just loaded. It was just so much chaos, and it was just okay. It was just, oh my, like, I expected that, but it was like, I don't know. It was like the Vision was out there. I think somebody else was out there. I think like Penta was out there, and like Sami Zayn was out there, and I mean, it was a mess. It was a mess. I'm like, let me just tell you, everybody was out there. I think like my dead grandma was out there, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. Everybody was out there. It was crazy. It was crazy. May I also remind you that on Night of Champions, Cody Rhodes beat Randy Orton for a title shot for, like, what was it, King of the Ring, and for a title shot, and also for a title shot against John Cena at SummerSlam. So at Night of Champions, July 18th, 2025, SmackDown, contract signing for SummerSlam. So in this segment, it was the contract signing, but basically what I just said, between Cody Rhodes and John Cena. They both had a little bit of promos and everything else like that, and they signed the contract, a little tuffle and everything else like that. I don't know, like, did they fight? I don't remember. I really don't remember. I don't know, but I know they signed the contract, and that was that. So August 1st, 2025, SmackDown, John Cena turns back to face. So in this, John Cena does a promo, and in this promo he basically talks about how he basically changed his ways. He's seen the light. He was getting into his own head. Basically, he goes and says that he's gonna go back to the old John Cena and just, you know, give his 110% and all the other stuff, and he promised Cody Rhodes that he's gonna bring his all, and he's gonna bring, you know, the John Cena that everyone knows and loves. And that was his face turn, and they shared an American beer and in the ring and everything like that. Cody Rhodes didn't say anything, you know. It's like, this is it. Fella face turn. Basically, in my opinion, the whole heel turn was not working the way they thought they was going to be working. By the way, I forgot to mention this. Like I said, they had it. The Rock had an interview after WrestleMania, and basically was telling, like, what was it, Pat McAfee, that the only reason why he went to Elimination Chamber because of, I forgot the guy's name, said he needed to sell more tickets, and so he did the promo to where it, you know, he talked about Cody Rhodes being his champion and spreading his cheeks. I mean, selling his soul and everything else. And said that John Cena had nothing to do with The Rock and him turning heel and everything else, and that Triple H said that because The Rock wanted to turn Cody Rhodes heel, and Triple H said, well, let's just turn John Cena heel, and you know, John Cena doesn't care, does whatever he's told because he's a good boy, and everything else, all these other stuff, and I'm just like, bullshit. Okay, this bullshit. Like the heel turn was great. It will happen afterwards that sucked, but yeah. So I guess it wasn't working, so they were like, you know what? Let's just turn him back to face and everything else. So now he's a face. So now he's going into SummerSlam as a face. August 3rd, 2025, SummerSlam Night 2. So the main event on Night 2 was against Cody Rhodes versus John Cena for the undisputed WWE title. This match, way better than WrestleMania's match. This was the match that we all wanted to see at WrestleMania. This was the match that we deserved to see at WrestleMania. But this was the match that pretty much made everyone think that, damn, man, John Cena still got it. You know, John Cena still got it. Like, why is he retiring? You know, like, he still got it. He's fucking out here and he's killing it. I mean, yes, there was a lot of, you know, breaking out of finishers and everything else like that. By the way, this was like a street fight or a no DQ fight or some shit like that. But, you know, it was like using the rope as like a submission thing, and chairs and tables and everything else. It was just great, man. It was just great. I think they went like 30 something minutes or something like that. It was a great match. It was a breath of fresh air from what we saw at WrestleMania. At least for me anyway. At least for me, it was that. John Cena ends up losing to Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes gives him the salute, gives him the crossroads, and pins him 1, 2, 3, and that was it. And you know, they hug it out and everything else. Cody Rhodes leaves the ring, and John Cena is basically, you know, he's just waving and giving thanks and telling everybody thank you and all this other stuff, and they're cheering, thank you Cena, thank you Cena. And then we hear the fucking music of Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar comes out and he attacks John Cena and leaves. I'm just like, alright. That just happened. Why not? Why not? Sure, let's just have Brock Lesnar. I mean, I get it. He's one of John Cena's opponents back in the day. Sure. Which was surprising. Which surprised everybody because we didn't think we'd ever see Brock Lesnar. And I was like, okay. Well, here we go. I don't know what's going to happen, but obviously we're going to have a match with John Cena versus Brock Lesnar. It's coming. August 8th, 2025, SmackDown. John Cena teams up with Cody Rhodes to go against Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. Like I said, this was pretty much after, this was like this, I believe this is SmackDown after SummerSlam. So they had a match, like I said, and it ended up in disqualification and the win for Cena and Rhodes because I think Logan Paul like kicked John Cena in the balls and the dick or whatever, and ended up like that as well. It was okay match. It didn't make any sense. I didn't get the match, but it was fun to see John Cena in the ring, so I don't complain about that. August 22nd, 2025, SmackDown. So John Cena cuts a promo. I believe this was in Dublin. He cuts a promo on Logan Paul because Logan Paul and John Cena are going to have a match at Cash at Paris, I believe it was called. And yeah, they got a promo and everything else like that. It was okay. It was great. It was a good promo and all that stuff. Nothing too exciting and anything else like that, but it is what it is, as they say. August 29th, 2025, the build to Cash in the Castle. So again, John Cena, Logan Paul, they're pretty much doing their little build and everything else, and they had a scuffle, they had a fight. You know the usual things right before freaking a PLE or pay-per-view happens. Somebody attacks somebody else and blah 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 blah. August 31st, 2025, Cash in Paris. John Cena beats Logan Paul. This match was an actually damn good match. And I hate saying that because I don't like Logan Paul. And I hate giving him credit. I really do. But I must admit that this match was really fucking good match. Not as good as Cody's match, but it was a really good match. They both shine. They both showed out. I believe this is the time where John Cena is started doing other people's finishing moves and doing other moves we haven't seen him doing in a while, and I'm just like, where did this come from? Like, where was this stuff coming from? This is great. It was a fun match. I really enjoyed it. He ends up beating Logan Paul, which is even greater. But I'm gonna give credit where credit's due. Logan Paul did fantastic in this match, and this was one of the better matches on this tour. I gotta admit, I have to admit. September 5th, 2025, the final SmackDown. A match with Sami Zayn for the United States Championship. Disqualification due to Brock Lesnar. So John Cena comes out. This was the last SmackDown. I believe they were in Chicago, and I believe this is where John Cena started. When he first started wrestling, was in Chicago, so it was kind of like a bittersweet thing. And John Cena's basically telling the crowd, like, thank you. And I think he talked about Brock Lesnar attacking him as well and all this other stuff. And Sami Zayn ends up coming out and basically asked the permission of starting the open challenge and everything else. And John Cena said, oh, that's a great idea. I think that's wonderful. Go right ahead. And John Cena's about to leave the ring. And Sami Zayn's like, well, I want you to be the first opponent of mine and everything else, because you did this. I want to give you the opportunity. And John Cena's like, well, let's go. So they had a match between John Cena and Sami Zayn on SmackDown for the United States title, and this was amazing. This was a freaking great freaking match, and I'm just like, is John Cena gonna lose? Or what's gonna happen? Because I'm just like, how they're gonna protect both Sami and John Cena? And the answer came when Brock Lesnar comes out and pretty much just attacks both John and Sami Zayn. And that was it. He attacked both of them and leaves, and it's like, okay, well, we know how they're gonna get protected, but it's like, okay, I kind of wanted to see a winner, but it was like, it was such a good match. It was such a fucking good match. I'm just like, damn you, Brock Lesnar. September 15th, 2025, Raw. So on this Raw, John Cena cuts a promo, and he cuts a promo on Brock Lesnar, because at this point now Brock Lesnar has challenged John Cena for a match at WrestlePalooza, which WWE just got out of thin air, or they went into the ECW vault and they're like, oh yeah, let's take WrestlePalooza and use it as our PLE for our first PLE on ESPN, because it was supposed to be next year, but you know what? We'll just do it now. We'll just do it now. We'll just do it right now. So John Cena cuts a promo on Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar did not show up. We did not have a face-to-face between Brock Lesnar and John Cena. The only face-to-face we've had was at SummerSlam and what happened like at WrestlePalooza. There was no face-to-face between the two of them, which kind of just sucked. Really just sucked. It just like, it's a build, but it's no build. It's like you're just talking to air. Like me talking to the microphone, hoping that you guys are listening to me right now. It didn't mean anything. September 20th, 2025, WrestlePalooza. John Cena loses to Brock Lesnar. In this match, if you want to call it that, it was multiple of suplex cities and F5s and suplex cities and F5s and more suplex cities and more S5s and maybe a couple of AAs here and there, you know, whatever, a couple of 5 knuckle shuffles and more F5s and suplex cities, and Brock Lesnar pretty much destroyed John Cena, pinned him, and then left. That was it. I don't understand the reason why this match was happening. Why did it happen? And some people say, well, maybe it's gonna make sense later on down the line. I'm like, well, we'll see. But right now, it don't make no sense down no lines or nothing. Later on in an interview with Chris Van Vliet, whatever his name is, he asked John Cena about the match at WrestlePalooza against Brock Lesnar, and John Cena basically said, well, you know what, I'm leaving, I'm retiring this year, and Brock Lesnar's coming back. We needed to make him over. And I'm just like, what? You needed to make him over? Like Brock Lesnar? I don't think so, but okay, sure, let's go with that narrative, John. Sure. Whatever. I believe we did that in 2015, but yeah, sure. I don't think Brock Lesnar needs to be made over, but okay. Whatever. October 11th, 2025. Crown Jewel. John Cena beats AJ Styles. So, this match happens because apparently WWE listens to the fans, and John Cena, I think he put out a tweet or Instagram talking about who the WWE Universe thinks that he should be his next opponent. People are saying AJ Styles, and that's pretty much how this match happened. It was pretty much because of the fans, even though in reality they already had this match in mind. But you know, it's like back in the day when I used to play video games and one of my nieces or nephews wanted to play, and I'll be like, okay, here you go, here's the remote, and I'll really plug it in. And this is before, you know, they had wireless freaking remote controls and stuff like that. And they pretend that they're playing and everything else, but really it was you. Anyways, so that's how this match got started. This match was, as they say, a letter to the wrestling fans, a love letter to the wrestling fans, because this match was great. To me, this would have been a perfect ending to John Cena's career, and that would have been it. John Cena and both AJ, they gave tribute to all their opponents. You know, John Cena gave a tribute to all his best opponents. AJ Styles gave tribute to all his best opponents in TNA, and it was great. I enjoyed this match for what it was. Even like in the beginning of the match, where they're doing introductions and stuff like that, and John Cena wrote a special introduction for AJ Styles, and he was like happy about that and everything. It was great. It was a great match. It was fun. The two faces going at each other, and it was a fun match. I enjoyed it. John Cena beats AJ Styles, and they hug it out, and AJ Styles gives, you know, John Cena so he can stay in the ring to get his flowers. Everyone's thanking John Cena, and that was pretty much it. It was a great match. I highly enjoyed this match. If you have not seen this right here, is probably the best match of the tour for me. For me, this is best match. It's tied up there with Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam. It is. It's great. It's just great. It's a love letter to the wrestling fan. I love it. You go check it out if you haven't already. Or if you have, go check it out again. It's great. October 13th, 2025. Raw promo in Perth. So, Crown Jewel was in Perth. They were still in Perth. John Cena cuts a promo talking about how the match and was AJ was and everything else like that, and it's great. And that was pretty much it. There was nothing really more to say about that. November 10th, 2025, Raw in Boston. John Cena wins the IC title from Dominic Mysterio. So one of the things that John Cena wanted was to make sure that he got to be in Boston in his, was it his hometown? I believe it was hometown. In Boston, one of the matches he wanted to make sure that he had to make one appearance in Boston because he's from Boston. He wanted to make sure that he got an appearance in Boston. And he cut a promo and everything else, and Dominic Mysterio comes out and basically said that he's better than John Cena in this era and any era. And I believe Triple H was out there. Triple H was like, well, let's see. And they had a match for the Intercontinental Championship because people were like, hey, John Cena should go out as a Grand Slam champion. So he got a match. He got a match with Dominic Mysterio and ended up winning the title from Dominic Mysterio. So now John Cena is a Grand Slam champion by winning the title. Personally, for me, I could have cared less if he won the title or not. I don't really give a shit. Didn't matter to me. Didn't matter at all. By the way, this was when the John Cena had announced his tournament at who's gonna fight him. I think he had announced on that Raw prior, whatever, but the tournament was announced and everything else like that. So I didn't really care because I didn't want the championship to be an effect towards the tournament for John Cena to fight him in his last match. So it didn't really matter to me. I'm like, I'm happy he got it, but at the same time I was like, I just didn't care. I'm like, whatever, who cares? But he won, so congratulations, he won in his hometown, and that was great. November 17th, 2025, Raw, Madison Square Garden. So on this day, I don't even need to talk about Edge. Anyway, he had a promo with Dominic Mysterio, and Dominic Mysterio's like, I want my title shot back, and John Cena's like, well, we can go right now if you want the title shot right now. And Dominic Mysterio's like, no, I'm not gonna do it now. I'm not gonna do it on your time. Your time ain't now, John. It's my time. I'm gonna do it when I want to do it, and I'm gonna do it in Survivor Series in San Diego, in my hometown. Since you won the championship in your hometown, I'm gonna do it in my hometown. And that's when John Cena was like, alright, cool, but I came for a fight, so let's go on. Let's just me and you just fight right now, kid, and everything else. Like, let's make history. And Dominic Mysterio was like, oh, we're not gonna make history and everything else. That's when Finn Balor and JD McDonough come out. He goes, we're not gonna make history, we're just gonna beat your ass pretty much and everything else like that. Sheamus comes out because Sheamus has beef with Finn Balor and JD. And then Rey Mysterio comes out because Rey Mysterio put hands on his son because you gotta let him know like he is the best Mysterio. Anyways, they ended up having a 6-man tag match on that night. It was a fun match. It wasn't exciting, it wasn't good, it was just fun. It was a great match and I enjoyed it for what it was. Team Cena ends up winning, and that was it. It was a fun match, and I enjoyed it. November 29th, 2025, Survivor Series. John Cena loses the IC title to Dominic Mysterio. Liv Morgan returns. So, in this match was just fully loaded with everything. We've talked about Survivor Series. I'm not going to go get into it. If you want to know my thoughts and views on that, you can go ahead and watch the show and the review on that with me and Tim. But it was good to see that Liv came back. I really like Liv, and John Cena did great. This was one of the best matches. I honestly, like I said, I didn't really care if John Cena got the IC title. I think that if John Cena I mean, we knew that we were going to have a match with Dominic Mysterio at one point, but I feel like at these points, like, we only have like so much time with John Cena, and I really wanted to just see him fight somebody else and all the other stuff. So it kind of was like I didn't really care about, again, I didn't care about the IC title, and I felt like this was just a waste of a match. It was a good match. It was a fun match. I don't know if it was a good match. It was a fun match, and with all the interruptions that they had and everything else like that, it was pretty much John Cena. It was pretty much John Cena versus Judgment Day, if you want to be honest. But it was okay. But I figured, like, dude, like, we only got so much time. Like, I wanted to see him with other opponents, but nope, that's not what we got. We got another match with Dominic Mysterio, which would be the third match. Yeah, I don't know. I would have done things a little bit differently, but whatever. Also, on Survivor Series, they should have had, if they would have started the tournament for the John Cena Time Is Now, whatever they fucking called it, and ended it on Survivor Series, at least we would have gotten like a face-to-face with the winner and John Cena. But since they didn't and we didn't, yeah, kind of big fail on their part. But anyways, December 13th, 2025, Saturday night's main event, John Cena's final match. So on this Saturday night's main event, I had talked about it like the week ago. I actually enjoyed the Saturday night's main event. It features a lot of the NXT stars and a TNA star, and basically young talent. It's something that John Cena wanted to happen, because their plan, WWE's plan, was to just have a 2-hour tribute to John Cena, which, cool, that would have been great. But on this day, John Cena loses to Gunther by tapping out. Now, the tap out is a little bit controversial, I guess you could say, because some people say he shouldn't have tapped out. Some people say he should have won. Some people didn't like how he tapped out because he smiled and he gently tapped out, like, you know, like, good job, boy, or something like that, whatever. However it was, it was his last match, and that was it, and that's how he wanted to go out. He wanted to go out that way and everything else. I respect it and I accept it. Do I like it? I don't know. I still don't know. I don't know if I like it or not. I get what he was trying to do and everything else like that. I don't know if I liked it, but it is, John Cena's gone and he's retired, and Gunther is here to stay. So if it makes Gunther more heelish and gives him more of like this hate and everything else, so that the next babyface, whoever that may be, goes and defeats Gunther, they're gonna get all this shine and everything else. It's gonna be great for that babyface when they go after Gunther, whoever that may be. But this was a good match, and it was a good match. It was a fun match. John Cena did his best work. Like I said before in the previous video of the review of the result show, if you haven't seen it, go watch that. But I enjoyed it for what it was, and I'm glad that the NXT stars and TNA stars got to get their shine in and everything else like that. It was great. Now, this whole tour, obviously it could have been better. Obviously it could have been way better than what it was, right? I'm not saying it was the worst tour. I mean, I've never seen a retirement tour, so I can't really compare it to anything, but I would not have turned Cena heel. I wouldn't even have Cena do like storylines. I would just have Cena, if it was me, do his greatest hits, you know, go to the opponents that he had been fighting in the past, some new opponents like some Javon Evans or Carmelo Hayes, you know, people that we haven't seen him with, go against them and everything else like that. And I think I would have done that and done that route and everything else. And yes, I would have had him win 17 against Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania, but it would have been a better match. And I would have had kept it to where instead of giving like the rub to Gunther as the greatest heel, I would have waited to the end and have a match between John Cena versus Cody Rhodes at the end and passed Cody Rhodes the torch, and that would have been the final match for John Cena, right? For me anyway. That's how I would have done it and stuff like that. I still would have had to go against like Gunther and stuff like that, maybe at like a SummerSlam or whatever, you know. I would have done things a little bit differently and everything else like that. I just, the whole heel turn, like the heel turn itself was great. What happened afterwards was just, and it was like they did the heel turn and then they were like, they didn't know what to do next. You know what I mean? They didn't have any plan. They're like, well, we'll just do this. What are you gonna do next? I don't know. We'll figure it out as we go. You know, we'll figure it out as we go. I would have liked something like that. I would not have turned him heel. I would have just had matches. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I probably would have put a little bit more days on there. He wanted to do 200. They gave us like 36 or some shit like that. And I was just like, you know, maybe give it like a little bit more days on there and stuff like that if he wanted it. I don't know if WWE or TKO was just being cheap because they didn't want to pay. Like, no, we're not paying for 200 days. We'll just pay for like 36. I don't know, but it's really disappointing. And the most disappointing for me was the tournament, because how sad it was that we couldn't get like some stars on there that we don't get to see. You know, we don't get to see these kind of matches. I gotta say though, Gunther's matches with every person that he was in match with, it was a great match. It was probably one of the best matches in the freaking tournament. I hate to admit it, but it's true. I don't know. To me, I'm like, I look at it and I'm just like, it could have been better. It just could have just been way better. Like, for me, I just wanted to see John Cena wrestle. I wanted to see wrestle the old opponent. I wanted to see wrestle some new opponents, some people in NXT, some people and stuff like that. I would have loved to see him going against Dolph Ziggler and stuff like that. I don't know, it's just something. And I feel like they dropped the ball on this one. That was his retirement tour. It is what it is. It's in the books. It is over. It is done. It was nothing but the best for John Cena. I'm glad he got to go out the way he wanted to go out. And that's more important than anything else. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this really long video. I don't even know that made sense in this video. I was just talking and rambling, but whatever. This will be my last video for the year. Holidays are coming up, and I just want to spend the last couple of weeks with family and friends and relaxing and not worrying how to make videos and everything else like that. 2025 has been very exhausting, both all around, online, and in the personal, and I just want to just relax and just enjoy the 2025 as much as possible. I'm hoping next year things will get better. If not in my personal life, definitely in the wrestling wise, because oh my goodness sake, I cannot go through another 2025 and 2026. I swear I will not make another video in 2026. This is how it's gonna be. It's just not, it ain't worth it. It's just not worth it. So I'm hoping that 2026 in wrestling will be a whole lot better. I thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoy your holiday, whatever holiday it is that you celebrate, doesn't matter. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope 2026 is a great year. I hope 2025 was a great year for you, and it continues on to 2026. If you're like me, 2025 sucked. I hope 2026 is way better. Thank you, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Okay, bye.